بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. Inshallah, if I receive confirmation, I can continue. Okay. So, Alhamdulillah, we are able to have once again our webinar, and this time we are inshallah reflecting on why saying 112 of Nahjul Balagha, and I hope you can see now the first slide. In this why saying, Imam alayhi salam refers to several points that can be very useful for our life, and they are very practical as well. The first is this: La mala a'wadu min al-aql. There is no wealth more useful, more beneficial than intelligence, than wisdom. If we need to have something which gives us ability to function, why we are so much interested in money? One reason is that because when we have money, we are able to do many things. When you have money, you can buy what you want. You can, travel. You can enjoy yourself. You can look after your children. So there are many things that you can do with money. So you feel that money is very beneficial, and to some extent it is true. Yes, and this is why Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says, "La tu'tu as-sufaha amwalakum allati ja'ala Allahu lakum qiyama." Do not give the people who are not understanding, those who are not intelligent, those who are not aware of what is good, what is bad, your money. Why? Because money is something that is made by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, a source of power for you. It's with the money that you can stand up. A person or a society, a community which are poor, they have problem. They cannot stand properly. They have to bend or even sit. Okay, so money is important. But money is not the most important thing. One thing which is more important than money is aql. Intelligence or intellect. Aql can mean intellect or can mean intelligence and wisdom, is more beneficial. Because if you do not have aql, even your money cannot help you. Look at Qarun, how much he benefited from his money. There are many people that their money is not benefiting them, is not helping them, indeed is destroying them. But if you have aql, you can earn money, or even without money, you can find still some practical solutions. Therefore, the best thing also to inherit is, instead of inheriting money, to inherit wisdom, to inherit moral virtues, as we have inshallah later in the same why saying La miratha kal adab. Inshallah we will talk about it later. So La mala a'wadu min al aql. No money is more beneficial, more useful than intelligence or intellect. Second, wala wahdata awhashu min al ujb. There is no loneliness, no solitude more horrible, more lonely then when you start admiring yourself, when you become too much pleased with yourself, Uruj means self-admiration, and awhash means something that makes you feel very lonely. The people who are proud, the people who are too much pleased with themselves, the people who admire themselves too much, then they feel very lonely, and also people leave them. People don't go very much close to them because people don't love people who are proud of themselves, who are very much pleased with themselves. You can never please such people. They always look at themselves as if they are free from any problem, any mistakes. They expect too much. They want people always to be humble in front of them and to do everything for them and listen to them. So they feel very much superior to other people. This makes you very lonely. If you really want people to come to you, people be close to you, people be friends with you, you should be humble. Humble people are very much pleasing, and people love to get close to them. So, لا وحدة أوحش من العزلة. There is no solitude or loneliness which makes you feel lonely as much as self-admiration can do it. Then Imam alayhi salam said, وَلَا أَقْلَ تَدْبِيرٌ. There is no intelligence, there is no understanding, no wisdom like tadbir. Tadbir means management, means running affairs properly. Mudabbir is the one who manages things in the good way, is a good director, a good manager. So, among different branches of wisdom and intelligence, the most important thing is to be able to be a good manager, someone who can plan and implement. Because, it's not just a matter of knowing better or understanding better or thinking more. At the end, these things must lead to a better life, to a better usage of means and resources, to a better way of facing problems, facing challenges. This is what we find in tadbir. If I have no tadbir, I may have lots of people, lots of money, lots of time, and still no success. If I have tadbir, I know how to work with little money or with little number of people or in a short period of time. Tadbir is very important. The efficiency in management and in directing affairs to the best direction, to the way that suits my purposes in the best way. This is tadbir. Then, وَلَا كَرَمَ كَالتَّقْوَى. There is no generosity or nobility like piety. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says also in the Quran, إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The most honorable of you in the sight of Allah is the most pious. So, to be noble, to be respected, is a matter of taqwa, God-fearing, piety. So, no one based on anything can be as respected as based on taqwa. Maybe, for example, someone is coming from a noble family. someone has good qualities, qualifications, or money, or position, or power, or job, or belonging to a strong party, whatever. If these are the things that give you honor and respect, you should know that none of them can stand taqwa. Taqwa is the most important thing. Something that gives you honor in dunya and akhirah. If other things give you honor, it's only in dunya. And it is only for a short period of time within some people. Not everyone would appreciate you, because you would have, for example, if you have a strong political position, if you belong to a strong party, even you belong to a ruling party, for example, this doesn't make everyone respect you. For sure, there is opposition. There are people who disagree. Or there are people in other parts of the world, for them belonging to the ruling party in this country would not be important. And also this is short, for a short period of time. Sometimes one party is in decline, sometimes in power, sometimes, you retire. Sometimes, you change your mind and say, no, this party is not a good party, I want to change. Or they change their mind about you. So, if you want to have a kind of respect that is universal and eternal, then we should invest on taqwa. Taqwa gives honor in dunya and akhirah, and it never stops. So there is no respect and nobility like taqwa. وَلَا قَرِينَ لِحُسْنِ الْخُلْقِ. There is no companion, no friend like husn al-khulq. Husn al-khulq means having good temper, having nice character. We have many hadith about husn al-khulq and how husn al-khulq can help on the day of judgment, how husn al-khulq is loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much Rasulullah loved the people who were good in their akhlaq. Even there is hadith that once a captive, a person who was fighting Muslims, after he was arrested, then some of them were punished, but one was released. And when he asked why, Rasulullah informed him, because Allah told me that you have some good traits of character, and one is that he was Hasanul Khulq. He was a kind person. He was a nice person. He was treating people with kindness and respect. So even if an enemy of God, an enemy of truth, has a good character, has some noble traits of character, that is appreciated. And that can lead finally to be guided. And that person, after this incident, embraced Islam, because he said, if your God appreciates these qualities, so I want to follow this religion. Husnul khuluq is very important. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through his husnul khuluq, his good temper, good akhlaq, managed to change that society of jahiliyyah, of ignorance, in which normally there was no love, no mercy, no care, to a society that people were ready to die for each other. A society that people didn't have love for their children. They used to bury their daughters alive. They used to not show love to their children. Even, when one of them, after years of Islam, saw Rasulullah kissing his grandchild, he said, I have never kissed my children. Rasulullah changed this society into a society that people were sharing what they had with their brothers and sisters. The people of Medina looked after the people who migrated from Mecca to Medina. They were sharing their house, their belonging. they were ready to give life for each other. In one of the battles, when there were some injured people, one person went to give water. When he went to one soldier who was injured, and when you are injured, you are very thirsty, you feel thirsty. He said, please give to my brother. He's more thirsty. He's thirstier than me. So he went to the next person and he said, please give to my brother. He went to the third person. So finally, he reached the last one who was already dead. So he went back and he saw all of them are dead. So those injured soldiers, they prefer to die thirstily and instead offer the water to their brother. So we have many, many examples of sacrificing themselves, their comfort for their brothers and sisters. So Rasulullah managed to change this society by being kind, being soft, by having good akhlaq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. Because of receiving mercy from God, you became soft and gentle and lenient. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. If you were harsh, if you were hard-hearted, they would have left you. People would not remain with someone who has harsh behavior, even if he's Rasulullah. لو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك. It's a great lesson for us. If we want our children to be with us, our friends, our community, people respect us, we should have this good behavior, good akhlaq. Good akhlaq doesn't mean to compromise about the principles and values. No, you can have your principles, you can have your values, but you have to learn how to have principles and at the same time be nice, be soft. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam says in Khutbah Muttaqeen, فَمِنْ عَلَامَةِ أَحَدِهِمْ أَنَّكَ تَرَى لَهُ قُوَّةً فِي دِينٍ وَحَزْمًا فِي لِينٍ. One of the signs of the believers is that you see in them three things. To have these three together makes impossible things possible. I mean, things which are practically impossible. I don't mean things which are logically impossible. It brings success. قوة في دين, strength in faith, but at the same time, hazman, being far-sighted, and lean, being soft. So you can be strong in faith, at the same time soft, and also plan for future. Sometimes we are not strong in faith. Sometimes we are strong in faith, but we don't plan. Or we are strong in faith and we plan, but we are not soft. This is not working. If you have all the three, strong in faith, between you and Allah, you are very strong. If all people of the world lose their faith, you don't lose it. If everyone questions your faith, you don't start doubting. But when it comes to your akhlaq, the way you behave, the way you treat people, you can be nice, you can be kind, you can be soft. And at the same time, be far-sighted. Look at water. We have this hadith that mu'min is like water. There are many good qualities in water. First, water is flexible. You can put water in any container. If water was not flexible, if it was like wood or metal, when they want to put it in a container, they destroy it, they melt it, or they cut it into pieces and they put it in the container. But water easily takes the form of container. So it doesn't lose anything and it remains what it is. This flexibility of water is very good. At the same time that it remains water, but it's flexible as much as needed. Water, if it is handled with care and nicely lets you get into it. But if someone wants to force itself on water, it becomes like stone. If you have experience, if you, for example, dive into water and you don't know how to dive into it, and if you dive, like flat, then it's like a stone. It can sometimes kill you. But if you dive, and you use the aerodynamic rules, then lets you in. Or if you, for example, approach it nicely from close, it lets you in. But if you want to force yourself, it doesn't accept. So water is a good example. Mu'min should be like water. Flexible, but not losing identity, not losing any part of yourself or community. Keep everything together with a little bit of flexibility. This is what I call principled flexibility. It's a type of flexibility which has its own rules and regulations. It's according to Islamic law, according to Sharia, but with understanding, with ijtihad, with the power of ijtihad, you can be flexible to some extent. Okay, so لا قرين حسن الخلق. There is no companion like حسن الخلق. حسن الخلق is helping you to not to be lonely. In dunya you will not be lonely. Even in your grave you benefit from حسن الخلق. Your akhlaq becomes your companion. ولا ميراثك الأدب. There is no heritage, no legacy like adab. Adab, you can say politeness or etiquette. Maybe politeness is good, although it's not perfect. Adab is to have manners, good manners, to observe etiquette. You know how to treat, for example, elders, how to treat guests, how to treat teachers, how to treat students, how to treat outsiders, how to treat guests. This is adab, the ability to observe good manners with respect to different groups of people in different conditions and circumstances. So, there is no legacy, no inheritance, no heritage better than this. If we give this to our children, that's the best thing we can give them. If our children have no akhlaq, no manner, no etiquette, no politeness, but they have money, no one is going to love them. But if they have this, they can achieve everything else. People give them job, people give them respect, people want to do business with them, people, are ready to do everything for them. If they have good akhlaq, good behavior. ولا قائد كالتوفيق. There is no guide like tawfiq. What is tawfiq? We use a lot the concept of tawfiq, and we say, for example, وَمِنَ اللَّهِ التَّوْفِيقِ or وَفَّقَكُمُ اللَّهِ. What does it mean? For your success in everything, you need many factors to come together. Many conditions have to be met so that you can be successful. For example, if you want to be successful in your studies, you need good teacher or teachers, you need good course, good university, textbooks, you need to be free, you need to be healthy, you need to be able to have some money to afford to pay for the fees, for the textbooks, for transportation. You need security, you need many, many things. Tawfiq is to have all these conditions together. Jam'ul asbab wal muqaddimat, everything which is needed, all the requirements, all the conditions that are to be met so that you can do something. Sometimes you want to do something, but you don't have tawfiq. A problem happens. At the time that, for example, you want to go to the mosque, then a problem happens. You see your car tire is flat, or I don't know, something unexpected happens in the house, doesn't let you to go to the mosque. Tawfiq is to be able to do what you want to do, to be able to meet all the challenges and have all the requirements together. Sometimes, for example, people went to the seminary to study, and to the hawza to study, but after some time they became ill. Or, for example, they lost their father, then they had to go back home, to look after family. So there are many, many things. Or they marry to someone and his wife says, we should go back home. We don't want to, study here. It's difficult, to be here. Sometimes their children, become, problems. So there are many things that can stop a person pursuing the line of knowledge. We say, لَكُلِّ شَيْءٍ آفَةٍ وَلِلْعِلْمِ آفَاتٍ. Everything can have an obstacle, but for learning, there would be many obstacles. It's very difficult to be able to continue your study for a long period of time. Many problems can happen. Tawfiq is to be able to do what you want without facing these obstacles. This is Tawfiq. And this is possible when Allah wants. Of course, it's not arbitrary. When you work hard, when you appreciate what you have, when you pray, when you have prayer and blessings of your parents, when you do Saliyya Rahim, when you give charity, these are very important. This brings you tawfiq. When you respect ulama, when you respect elders, when you respect the people who have rights over you, this brings tawfiq. This brings success, whether it is in your secular life, worldly life, religious life. It doesn't make difference. In all these things you need tawfiq. And tawfiq is the best guide, is the best leader, is the best one, the best thing to put you in the direction which leads to success. لا قائد كالتوفيق. Then ولا تجارة كالعمل الصالح. There is no trade, no business like righteous deed. The best tijara that you can do, the most profit making, the most profitable thing is amal salih. When you do amal salih, first of all, it's always wanted. Sometimes people invest on something. For example, they buy something because they think they can sell it with a good price. But then you see many other people bring this product to the market. The value goes down. Or people, change their mind. It becomes outdated. Or this no longer is fashion. You have competitors. People don't pay that much money to this. So many things happen. A businessman, a tradesman is always worried, is always concerned. Sometimes you have to buy very cheap what you have purchased, even cheaper than what you have purchased, because there is no interest, or there are lots of competitors, or people have no money to pay. So there are lots of problems. But amal salih, righteous deed, is something that is always wanted. It is something that Allah buys from you. And He always wants amal salih, and He buys always with very, very good price. He buys at least 10 times more. Sometimes He buys hundreds of times more. Sometimes He buys tens of thousands of times more. This amal salih is something which is very much profitable. The best tujjar, the best tradesmen and women are those who do this trade. They try to do amal salih as much as possible and sell it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the most generous buyer. Amir al-Mu'minin al-Islami Khutbat Muttaqin, he says, صبروا أياما قصيرة أعقبتهم راحة طويلة تجارة مربحة يسرها لهم ربهم أرادتهم الدنيا فلم يريدوها وأسرتهم ففدوا أنفسهم منها. The pious people are the people who try to be patient for few days, and then this followed a long period of comfort, eternal comfort. This is a profitable tijara trade that the Lord made it possible for them. Dunya wanted them, but they tried not to go after dunya. Sometimes dunya arrested them, but they managed to escape and run away from dunya. So this is the key for success. So there is no tijara like doing righteous deeds. وَلَا رِبْحَ كَالثَّوَابِ. There is no profit greater than reward which comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions several qualities for his ajr, for his reward. Sometimes he says ajrun azim, sometimes he says ajrun kareem, sometimes he says ajrun ghayru mamnoon. This is generous, this is great, this is kabir, this is big, this is ghayru mamnoon, this is not going to be stopped. This is the way he rewards. And his ajr is coming from himself. It's coming from the heaven. He gives reward which can endure, which can remain. So there is no profit better than the reward. وَلَا وَرَعَ كَالْوُقُوفِ عِنْدَ الشُّبْهَةِ. This is also a very important practical lesson for our life. There is no taqwa. Wara means taqwa, piety. Like, which means better than stopping when you are faced with shubha. What is shubha? Shubha means something which is not clear, something which is a bit confusing. In our hadith, we have this very much, mentioned many times, that affairs are one of the three. Some of the affairs, some of the things are known to be good. Bayyinun rushdu. It's clear to be good. Okay, so you do it. Fayuttaba. You go after it. Some of the things are known to be bad. Bayyinun ghayyuh. Fayustana. If the things were clear to be good or clear to be bad, we didn't have problem. Because most of us, we don't go for something which is clearly bad. Or we don't, stop doing something which is clearly, definitely, decisively good. Most of us, we don't have problem with these two. Our problem starts with respect to the third category. Shubahatun bayna dhalik. Sometimes there are things that we don't understand whether they are good or bad. Those who are not careful, they do these things. They say, we don't know it is bad, so we do it. Those who are careful, they say, no, we don't do it. Maybe I am not able to understand it is bad or good, but in reality it is bad. I don't want to take any risk. I want to safeguard my iman. If I know something is good, like milk, juice, water, I drink. If I know it's poison, I don't drink. If I don't know whether it is water or poison, is a healthy water or is a poison liquid, what should I do? Should I take risk? No, I don't take risk. I don't use this. I wait for something good. So, shubahat, those things which are problematic, those things that before which you don't have guidance, those things that might put you into difficulties, might endanger your iman, you should avoid. Wait. Sometimes you don't know because you don't have knowledge of the fiqh, so you ask ulama. Or you don't have knowledge about akhlaq, moral side of it, you ask experts, ulama who are experts in akhlaq. Sometimes, no, you know all the theories, you have the theoretical knowledge, but you don't know how to apply it because you don't have enough information about the facts on the ground. So you have to wait. If you can ask. If you can inquire, consult. If not, wait. Sometimes time is the best solution. Maybe something is not clear now, but gradually it can become clear. Don't rush. If something is not clear and we wait, Allah would not blame us. But if something is not clear and I rush and then make bad and false judgment, then I need to be blamed. So the best type of taqwa is to stop when there is shubahat, when there are things which are not clear. وَلَا زُهْدَ كَالزُّهْدِ فِي الْحَرَامِ. There is no virtue or no asceticism better than asceticism with respect to haram. Zuhd means not to be interested in dunya. But the most important type of zuhd is not to be interested in haram. It is difficult to be, for example, not interested in money, in, luxury house, luxury car, luxury holidays, luxury dress. It's difficult not to go after these things. But the most difficult thing, and also the most useful and practical way for success, is first make sure that you don't have interest in haram. For us, the most important thing is to avoid haram, something that is prohibited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With doing haram, even if it is a little, even if it is one haram, we are not going anywhere. If we avoid haram and do our obligations, then inshallah, little by little, we can make success. If we do more good actions, we can make a speedy success. But with haram, no. Haram doesn't let us to do anything. Doing haram and good things together also is not getting us anywhere. It's like a person who is collecting good things but putting in a container which has leakage or has a hole. Everything drops. You cannot collect anything. Then وَلَا عِلْمَ تَفَكُّرْ. There is no knowledge like the knowledge which comes by thinking and contemplation. If you don't think and contemplate, you just memorize things like a recorder, like a parrot. This is not useful. We need to contemplate so that we digest and we absorb what we learn. When you absorb, when you get it on board, then it helps you in your self-development, and also it helps you in understanding how to meet the challenges of the real life. So much has been said about tafakkur in our hadith. كان أكثر عبادة أبي ذر التفكر. The greatest part of Abu Dhar's ibadah and worship was to think. تفكر ساعة أفضل من عبادة السنة. Thinking for a while is better than worshipping without thinking for a year, or in some hadith for أفضل من عبادة 60 سنة or 70 سنة. Is better. Thinking for a while is better than doing ibadah without thinking for 60 years or 70 years, depending on the quality of your thinking. Sometimes 1 hour of thinking can change our life. Sometimes people converted or repented or transformed themselves because of thinking for 1 hour, for a few days. They changed their life after decades. This is very important. If you go to the wrong direction and you never think and reflect and ponder, then this can continue, can go on and on. But if you reflect, then at any time you are ready to revise, to change your direction and go back to the right direction. So it's very important to think, to ponder. لا عبادة كأداء الفرائض. There is no worship like performance of wajibat. The best thing that we should do is to do our wajibat. This is the first step. Without doing our wajibat, there is no point even of talking about mustahabbat. In the hadith of Qurb al-Nawafil, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this hadith Qudsi, in this divine saying says, my servants have never come close to me in the way that they come close to me, or in the way which is most loved by me, than performing wajibat. Performance of wajibat is the most important thing to do, as avoiding haram is the most important type of asceticism. If you want to show no interest to haram. If you want to show commitment by doing wajibat. These are the most important, most fundamental and basic things. وَلَا إِيمَانَ كَالْحَيَاءِ وَالصَّبْرِ. There is no faith, no religiosity like these two. Haya. Haya means to have shame. Means when you do something wrong, you feel bad. This modesty, this sense of shame, in the good sense, is haya. If someone has this haya, he never does bad things. He never associates himself with bad people. And if it happens that he does something bad, he quickly tries to recompensate, to restore. والصبر, patience. الصبر من الإيمان بمنزلة الرأس من الجسد, as we have in some hadiths. Patience for iman is like head for body. We need this haya so that we don't do bad things, we don't get mixed with bad people, and this patience. And there are so many things about patience in Quran, in our hadith, how Allah rewards patient people. Allah says, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. He rewards them without any measure. So there are 3 more slides. Let me be faster so that I finish them. وَلَا شَرَفَ كَالْعِلْمِ. Sharaf means honor. There is no honor like knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises knowledge in the Quran. هَلْ يَسْتَوَى الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Are those who know and those who don't know the same? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Allah raises the people who have faith and raises those who have been given knowledge in ranks. There are darajat for ulama. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. The only people who have really awe and high regard for Allah are the people who are knowledgeable. So this is great honor, knowledge. وَلَا عِزَّ كَالْحِلْمِ. Izz means dignity. There is no dignity like being halim, patient, to have forbearance. Halim is normally used for the people who are patient with respect to the bad behavior and bad words, bad treatment of people. Normally halim is used for this type of thing. Someone who is wronged, but he doesn't lose his control, he doesn't get angry, he maintains his calmness so that he does the best thing. Because when we get angry, then we don't know what we say, we don't know what we are doing. We may do wrong things. Halim is able to keep calm and do the best things, something which would be productive, something that you wouldn't regret later. And finally, لا مظاهرة أوثق من المشاورة. There is no support, no help more reliable, firmer than consultation. The best help and support to give or receive is to have good consultation, good consultants. Again, we have many recommendations about this. It is so important that even Allah says to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Shawirhum fil amr." He says, consult believers. Of course, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. After you make your mind, then do what you think is the best and trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But before making your mind, your decision, you have to consult, you have to benefit from the opinion and advice of people. When Rasulullah is asked to consult, this is a great lesson for us. None of us should feel we don't need to consult. We need to consult with the people who have experience, who have knowledge, who have wisdom, who can be trusted. And this is very good. In this way, you are adding their knowledge and experience and wisdom to yours. لا مظاهرة أوثق من المشاور. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we managed to finish this by saying, and as you saw, there are many beautiful points. Inshallah, maybe after tonight's webinar, during the week, you can go back again and read and reflect, because just reviewing this beautiful hadith for once is not enough. Okay, now let's go to the questions. The first question is, Salamun alaikum, alaikum salam. My question is a bit unrelated to the topic, but inshallah, if there is time, I would like you to explain why we call Imam Hussein Sayyid al-Shuhada when the title was given to Hamza by Rasulullah. Also, why do we not cry over the death of Hamza, since we have in our hadith that the Prophet cried for Hamza? Yes. To be master of the martyrs is a matter of either a particular time or throughout history. For example, we have the title of Sayyidat al-Nisa, Sayyidat al-Nisa al-Alami, the masteress of the women of the world. Lady Maryam Salamullah alayha, she was the masteress of the ladies of the world. But then we have Lady Fatima Zahra, who was Sayyidatu Nisa al-Alamin min al-awwalin wal-akhirin. She was the masteress of all ladies from the early generations up to the last. Hamza Salamullah alayh was martyr, and he was so great that among all the people who were martyred at that time, he was the greatest. But he was not comparable to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Imam Hussein is the master of the martyrs throughout the generations. No martyrdom was like martyrdom of Imam Hussein. La yawmaka yawmaka ya Aba Abdullah. The way he was martyred, and the people who were martyred with him, and the events that happened afterwards, the impact that it had on saving Islam, on changing the course of history, proved that his martyrdom was special. So, before Reaching that point, Hamza, who was martyred in the battle of Uhud, was considered as Sayyid Shuhada, and after that, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam used this title for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who even was known by previous prophets to be in such a high position. Of course, it is good to remember the tragedy of Uhud, to cry for Hamza, as Lady Zahra Salamullah alayha used to do, but nothing should overshadow the tragedy of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Imam Raza alayhi salam said to Ibn Shabib, Ya Ibn Shabib, إذا كنت باكيا or إن كنت باكيا فابكي على الحسين. Whenever you want to cry, cry for Hussein, because his musibah was the greatest musibah. His suffering was the greatest suffering. Question 2. Okay, I have also another question that is unrelated to the topic, but inshallah if there is time, Sheikh Shumar can answer. In Ayatollah Mutahhari's book, Man and Universe, he mentions that ethical progress and technological are not the same. He says this does not mean that human society advances along a straight line toward the perfection of human values. That every second advance, okay. Okay. Yeah. Ayatollah Mutahhari, reflecting on the course of history and knowing the hadith that we have about Akhir al-Zaman, he has this idea, which is very reasonable, that although we see problems, especially when it comes to morality and spirituality, increasing in this age, every year in some aspects it becomes worse. If you compare, for example, few years, you see this now to, for example, this last few years to 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you find the big distinction. In 1 year, maybe it's not very easy. You see how many people are affected by bad media, by bad movies, how haya becomes less, how politeness becomes less, how rude people become, some people, how much more they go into dunya, how crimes increase. So we see that there is a progress in the bad side. But on the other hand, positive signals are also there. Knowledge is increasing. A strength of iman of some people is increasing. In our hadith says that the believers of Akhir al-Zaman are the best. We have people with quality faith in Akhir al-Zaman. Imam Zain al-Abidin said to Abu Khalid al-Kabuli that those who are in Akhir al-Zaman waiting for Imam al-Zaman and they believe in him, they are afdal min ahl kull zaman. They are better than people of every generation when we speak generally. Exceptions can all be there, but generally speaking. So, we are moving towards a good end for humanity. Although quantity-wise we see more and more of bad elements, but quality is always in the favor of truth, in the favor of piety. And inshallah soon this would end with the great victory of falsehood, justice over injustice, pious people against vicious people. So we cannot say 100% things are getting better. No. Sometimes even if we look quantitatively things are getting worse, but overall it's getting better in the favor of the truth. Question 3. In Dua Iftitah, in so many times it's Behi Behi. Is it for us or for our Imam al-Zaman, our 12th Zaman? Yeah. In Dua Iftitah or Dua Not Behi, many times refer to Imam al-Zaman. You have to mention which particular sentence you are referring to. But many times we have this Behi means because of Imam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so He is the one who gives us our hajat, but we say, because of Imam, please give us this request that we are making. Okay, our time is over, and here is the time of Fajr now. Just now it's the time of Fajr in Hamburg. I hope that inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases our knowledge, our understanding, our wisdom, gives us good akhlaq, good temper inshallah, gives us haya, this having shame and modesty, sabr and patience. May Allah be your protector. May Allah protect you, your family and your community. May Allah give shifa to all the brothers and sisters who are ill. May Allah forgive all marhumin, your marhumin, our ulama, our maraji. And may inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to serve our Imam al-Zaman before and after he comes. Thank you very much. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.